the other day, Washington State University, their college football program, had a really tough and really complicated problem where Kassidy Woods, a redshirt sophomore receiver, got on the phone. He called the Washington State head coach, Nick Rolovich, to inform him that he was going to opt out of the 2020 college football season because Kassidy Woods has sickle cell trait, meaning that he is at a high risk of, being infected with coronavirus. He's one of those high-risk people where it could really screw him up. And so Kassidy called his coach, and coach said, hey, opting out because of coronavirus is okay. And then he said, but that's different than opting out because you are joining the unity movement. And that is where problems began, because Kassidy is, in fact, also involved with the We Are United movement. And Kassidy thought he could opt out of the season, say, hey, I'm at high risk of coronavirus. I'm going to opt out. But he thought he could do that and still participate in workouts and meetings and other stuff to do with the team. And I think my tone of voice is too harsh here. I'm not meaning to have a harsh tone of voice. This is an important message to me that matters a lot. Now, Nick Rolovich, the head coach of Washington State, they asked him to clean out his locker. They said, hey, we're going to have you clean out your locker. And Kassidy Woods is still on scholarship, but I don't know how, I'm trying to give you what happened. He got on the phone with his coach. He told his coach he's opting out. The coach said, well, I hope you're clear. If you're opting out because of the We Are United thing, that's a very different way we're going to handle it. And then at some point, Kassidy was asked to clean out his locker. And so I want to now share my opinion. I got on the phone with Kassidy Woods. I called Kassidy Woods myself. Him and I talked. We had a conversation. He's a really good dude. I like Kassidy Woods. He's a guy who had some catches last year for Washington State. He was a freshman playing, and he loves football. He was going to hopefully have a bigger role this year with the Washington State football team. And I'll be honest, I actually don't know that the head coach, Nick Rolovich, and the player, Kassidy Woods, I don't know that they're actually at odds with each other. I think they had a miscommunication, and I don't think that they are people that need to have an antagonistic relationship. I think they can actually walk away from this and still have a relationship. I said this was a complicated story because when I read it, I went, ooh, man, Nick Rolovich, what are you doing? My first reaction, my gut reaction was, that's not good at all. And, when the coach says, are you part of the unity movement? And then right afterwards asks the player to clean out their locker, I don't know. I will say that if you read what the coach said, it sounds really bad. But maybe if you heard a recording of the conversation, you might actually hear some care from the coach, hear some care in his voice, hear some care in his inflection. Maybe if you heard a phone call, it'd be a little bit different. And I know that myself personally, me, Zach Schaumler, the former college quarterback, I have had conversations with college coaches and been hurt by them. And I know that when I was hurt by a college coach, it clouded my judgment. And I also know that if I was ever told to clean out my locker when I was not expecting that, when I was not prepared to be told to clean out my locker, it would have, in fact, really alarmed me. It would have really hurt me. If I was told, hey, Zach, clean out your locker, I'd be like, what? Am I cut? What's going on? I'd be very confused. I'd have a lot of questions, and I would have acted very emotionally in that situation. And so the way I would have handled all this, Nick Rolovich, if you're out there, Nick, I think it's very likely that you were trying to care for your player's heart. Nick Rolovich, I want to give you and extend you a hand. If I'm not a gotcha guy. I've done interviews in the past with people. I have a lot of friends behind the scenes. Even friends of mine in the NFL, I said, hey, come on the show when your career is over. I love you. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to have you say anything dumb that gets you hurt. I'm not a gotcha guy. I don't record a live show. And if you want to have a platform to say that you were trying to care for your player with what you said, I'd love to have you on, Nick Rolovich. I would. I think what really went wrong here is that having a conversation about a player opting out and then having a conversation about the unity movement are two separate conversations that needed to happen separately, right? having a player tell you I'm opting out because of coronavirus and then having a player tell you that they're part of the unity movement, again, they're separate issues. They're separate things, a little bit separate. And if I was a coach, here's how I would have handled this. The phone rings. I say, oh, hey, college football player. Oh, you're opting out? Oh, no problem. I care about your safety as well. Let's switch the phone to the other hand. Now, just to be safe, I'm going to have to ask you to clean out your locker because, well, frankly, I don't want you to get sick. I'm a college football coach. If you get sick on my watch and you have a high likelihood of getting sick because you're a high-risk player, that's on me. I don't want you to get sick. I don't want that to happen. Now, to be clear, by the way, college football player, I want you to know I'm the coach, you're the player. You're still on the team. But because you're at risk, let's get you away for a little while. Let's keep you safe. Now, by the way, since I have you on the phone, do you mind if we switch the conversation to now a separate issue? You're on the team. You're safe. This is now a completely separate conversation. I want to ask you, are you by any chance involved with the unity movement? Oh, you are? Okay. Hey, man, I just want you to know I'm the coach. I support you. I would advise you to be careful because I'm a coach, but there are a lot of people above me that are my bosses, and that my bosses have bosses, and I have to answer to a lot of people. And I want to be clear, I'm not threatening you, but I just want you to know that if you go down the road and you join the movement, there could be some hard stuff ahead of the road for you that I don't cause, that people above me cause. And because I care about you, and I want you to have a good football career. I care about your football career. I just want you to know that if you join the movement, there might be some stuff down the road that I can't control that's hard for you, and I just want you to be aware of that. Okay? Hey, man, awesome. I care about you. I just want you to, I think you're great. Okay? Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. Hang up the phone. You could have had that conversation and been very clear. Hey, these are separate things. And I honestly think that to some degree, Kassidy Woods and Nick Rolovich at Washington State had a miscommunication where I think Rolovich tried to have two conversations at the same time, and it doesn't work. And I know, I'm telling you, if someone told me when I was a college football player, hey, clean out your locker, if my coach told me that, I'd be concerned. I would have been hurt. And I've talked to Kassidy Woods. I really like Kassidy Woods. He's a good dude. He's a good football player. Again, he played last year as a freshman at Washington State. He's not playing this year because he's sick, or he's a guy who's at high risk of getting COVID and dealing with COVID and having it go poorly because he's got sickle cell trait. And he also, at the same time, opting out because of COVID, he also, at the same time, does support the Pac-12 We Are United unity movement. And it makes sense to me. And what you may not know is that late in March, Kassidy Woods' teammate, Bryce Beekman, died. And when someone in your life dies, it really makes you aware of how much health and safety matters. You go, oh, crap. Life is short. I like my life. When my brother died 4 years ago, me personally, Zach Schallmer, my brother died 4 years ago, it really woke me up to the way the world works, and it made me change the way I live my life. And I really want to see Kassidy Woods play football again. I think it would be a big shame if that the ending of this meant that Kassidy Woods no longer plays football again. Now, the coach, Nick Rolovich, I don't know what's in his heart. I do know that what I've heard about him so far up until this point has been really good. I'm really close to the Washington State football program. I used to go to school there. I know a lot of people there. I know a lot of players on the teams and people I will never tell you I know, that it's pretty cool to talk to them. And people say that, first of all, the old coach at Washington State was a guy that I did not like and I thought did not handle players very well. The new coach, Nick Rolovich, is a guy who people say a lot of good things about him. People say that he's changing things, people for the good, by the way. People say that he cares about his players and he's bringing on some positive change. And so that's cool to me. That's awesome. And I just hope that Kassidy Woods and Nick Rolovich can talk and clear up what seems like to me, from my outside perspective, seems like actually a miscommunication. Two players who think two people who think they're at odds with each other that really, I think, are on the same side of this. And this whole story is complicated, but at the end of the day, I want good people, whether it's, I guess I don't want good people. If you're a good person, you're coach or player, I don't want good people to be negatively impacted. I really, it would be a tragedy. It's tragic if a coach was trying to care for a player. He meant well, and in the process actually ended up really hurting the player. If Nick Rolovich is a good guy who just was, harebrained and had a moment where he used poor word choice, I don't want Nick Rolovich's career ruined if he's a good guy who had the wrong word choice. That would suck. And if I already know Kassidy Woods is a good guy. I like Kassidy Woods a lot. I don't want his career ruined either. I want these people to walk out of this and both be okay. Especially, I don't know about Nick Rolovich. I know Kassidy Woods is a good dude. And so this whole thing is complicated and messy. And I just hope that good people do not lose out here. I hope that if Nick Rolovich is a good guy, which until this point, everything I've heard is that he is a good guy. If he's a good guy who used a poor word choice, I hope his career isn't ruined. And I hope he's not destroyed in recruiting. I think that on Twitter, especially, I go on Twitter every once in a blue moon. When this was happening to Kassidy Woods, Twitter was like, do not send your kids to play for Nick Rolovich. Nick Rolovich clearly is a really bad guy. Maybe that was overreactionary. I don't know. Now, I know Kassidy Woods is a good dude, and I don't want good people in this situation to be negatively impacted.